Hello friend, this is Ryan Hicks of TalkToProfit.com, and today I want to talk to you about how success knows no geographic, ethnic, familial, DNA, or any kind of other backgrounds, or any kind of limits. I had a person, and this is a very common issue, where people come to make excuses and to justify the failure and mediocrity they're living in. And so someone came and was saying, and they were responding on a video, and I'll post a link to the video in the description so you can go see the video that they're talking about. The video was 10 Bible reasons why you are poor from the Book of Proverbs. And I gave Proverbs showing why people are poor. Of course, it doesn't apply to everything, but in those cases dealt with in the video, it's very applicable. And so this individual said, many of your examples are false. So they're referring to the scripture itself. So they're already on the wrong side of the truth. And they went on, I am not sure if you're implying the Western world because more than half the world is poor. How does any of your insight apply to other areas of the world when in third world countries where if your skin is darker, you are automatically poor, part of a caste system, it's even one's birthright? This is a common thing where people look to something that they don't have control over as an excuse for why they're not becoming more and being more and having more. The thing is, they're implying it to be just the Western world. Like this stuff only can apply to Western culture. Well, there's part of some truth to that, because why is Western culture the way it is? It's because of the ideals, the beliefs that the people in that culture hold to, that the people in other cultures, the third world countries that this person mentioned, don't adopt and don't hold to. But there are people in Western countries who adopt the third world beliefs that, oh, it's my color is going to affect me, or I'm automatically poor, I'm part of a caste system, it's my birthright to be a loser and be poor. And if they adopt that mentality, even in those Western cultures, they're poor and they're broke and they're miserable and they're failures. So just popping up in some Western culture doesn't mean you're going to be successful. I was born in a Western country, the most prosperous country it's ever been, with the people with the highest standard of living of any nation ever, and I grew up poor. We weren't rich. We didn't have great success. We grew up poor in my family. But whatever you're born into, whatever race, whatever country, whatever system you believe you're in, those things only are a hindrance to you if you choose to allow them to be a hindrance to you. Now, most people choose to cling to excuses because that's so much easier to just point and say, well, it's because of the country I'm in. Well, it's because of my gender. Well, it's because of my height. Well, it's because of my weight. Well, it's because of my skin color. Well, it's because of this. And they have all these excuses for why they can't do something. But see, what many of these people are is really, it's like a race. You're in a foot race, and you're at the starting line, and the race has started, and you're standing there making excuses. Well, my family wasn't fast. My mother, she couldn't run very fast, and oh, my leg kind of hurts a little bit, and they're just going down the line making all these excuses for why they can't win the race. Meanwhile, the race is going on. Of course, they're going to lose. But then at the end, if you realize that there is no one else in the race, if they just walked and moved forward instead of standing there making excuses and going backwards even, they would have won. And that's what so many people are. Their mindset has created a prison almost where they can't do anything and they'll never be successful. And it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, because as long as you're telling yourself whatever it may be is the reason why you can't, then that's exactly what you'll get. And that's one of the things Jesus made a point about, was according to your faith be it unto you. Listen, you're going to believe for that. You're going to believe you can't. You're going to believe these things are obstacles. These things are hindering you from ever being successful. Nothing will ever go your way. That's what you're going to get. According to your faith be it unto you. But it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't matter what country you're born into. It doesn't matter what family. Listen, those things could be things that make it harder for you but you can rise above anything. Now, you can also not rise, and you can stay back, and you can wallow around in the mediocrity that the average person embraces with glee. Because that's easier. Because sometimes to get to success, it's going to be a lot of hard work. Doesn't have to be always, but in those beginning days, the initial part, you're going to have to do some work. And you're going to have to do a lot of changing. That's the biggest work is going to be changing your mindset, renewing your mind to the truth. But if you want to take excuses and blame your country, blame the culture, and culture obviously does have an effect, but the biggest problem of the culture, whether you're Western or Eastern or some other culture, is does that culture promote you to prosperity? That you can do whatever you want, that you can do what you believe? Or does it tell you excuses and lame reasons why you can't do something, and it holds you back and hinders you? Because if you believe that, according to your faith be it unto you, you're going to get what you're believing for. And this person, because they were angry, because they've embraced failure and mediocrity and poverty, and they hate the truth. As they said, many of your examples are false because they didn't like the scripture given. So they said, you are very biased. They meant biased, obviously, but here's the thing. I told them this. I am biased toward success, happiness, and wealth. I do not give place to the devil and his doctrines of poverty, failure, and limiting beliefs. You see, I don't care where you are. And you can go in every country and find someone who's become a success. And the vast majority of the time, they weren't born into some wealth. They came from nothing. There's literally, if you go and look, there's billionaires in so many of these countries. There's millionaires. There's people who are successful and have great means and have done great things that came from nothing. In these cultures, these third world cultures that have problems and limitations and excuses, and yet they did it. But see, here's the thing. God's no respecter of persons. If you'll do the same things those people did, if you'll take the same action, if you'll have the same faith in yourself and believe that with you and God you can become a great success, you will. But if you wallow around in the mire with these people who are telling you that you can't be successful because of the country you're born in, because of your gender, because of your color, because of whatever, that it's even your birthright to be poor, it's your birthright to be a failure, it's your birthright to be miserable. None of those things are true. But if you accept them to be true, if you believe them and hold them as truths in your heart, you're doomed. But this is so important. It's self-caused. Because while yes, there may be obstacles and hurdles, and it may be much harder in some countries than others, you can make it worse. And you can completely bypass all the opportunities that are available to you because you chose to embrace that mentality of failure, of being a loser. You can only lose in life. You can only be a failure instead of being a winner. And the thing is that many people don't understand, because they have that mentality, is that in third world countries, some of these poor countries that are developing, you have the biggest opportunity. You can't start some telecommunications company in the United States and become a great success in most cases because they're already established. But in these countries that are developing, it's wide open. You have so many opportunities. Now, there's obviously tons of opportunities in the United States for other areas, and maybe telecommunications too, if you invent something and create something new or have a new take on something. The point is, in some of these countries, people do not see there's huge opportunities that were already taken in the United States that are still available to them, and they're just not seeing them. There's all kinds of ways of making money. You just have to look for it. And if you'll be honest and open with yourself and embrace that you can be successful, that the blessing of the Lord can make you rich. Actually, not can make you rich. The scripture says, the blessing of the Lord maketh rich, and he addeth no sorrow with it. Plain and simple. If you embrace that and renew your mind to that, you will become a great success. If you renew your mind to the fact that Jesus, while he was rich, became poor, that you through his poverty might be rich. My friend, God gives you freely, richly, abundantly of all things to enjoy. He will give you good things. He will bless you. He will prosper you. He will enrich you if you will have the faith to believe for it. It doesn't matter where you are. You can absolutely, with God, become a great success. Don't let anyone rob you of this. Don't let anyone lie to you and tell you can't. Doesn't mean it won't be harder for you than maybe someone in some other country, but you absolutely can do it. And I guarantee you, if you'll look around, there are great opportunities available to you that you're just not seeing because you're of that belief system that you can't and that it's not available to you. My friend, you can become a great success. Now, if you want some more help on this issue of poverty and being poor and excuses people make and the reasons why people are poor, I wrote a book called You May Be Broke, But You Deserve to Be Rich. And in that book, I deal with some of the issues and some of the holdups and hangups that people have that keep them from being rich, even though they deserve to be. It's a blessing of the Lord. And so in that book, I show you how you can become rich, why you should be rich, and some of the things that you need to tweak and change and renew your mind to so you can become rich. My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.